Hi guys, and welcome to another session with myself. I'm really thrilled to be at the RedZed headquarters in Melbourne with this guy. So basically, RedZed did an announcement on Monday. We're going to post this at a time, obviously later. Sure. But you're the new general manager.
GM for sales and strategic partnerships.
There you go.
Yeah.
Now,
Fun time.
it's still better than me. I mean, I like chief coffee maker. Right? So
You've never made me coffee in all these years. We've had coffee.
no, but we've also had chicken as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So for the audience, if you haven't been around since the beginning, we've had Nathan on quite a few times.
Yeah.
Actually, you were actually one of the co-hosts of the Friday Racks original.
That's right.
Yeah. Things just happened.
Yeah.
But your journey is pretty interesting because you were a broker as well. Like when I first met you.
Absolutely. You might be here.
Yeah, for Home Loans Limited.
That's right.
Yeah, there you go. And Melody, you got an awesome job, no doubt. So, mate, tell me, thank you for taking the time to talk to me in the first place. But tell me, what's your role? Who are you? And can you tell the audience basically what your intention is going to be with it?
Sure. Yeah, so my role at RedZed now is the GM of sales and strategic partnerships. So it's the head of the sales team and also our relationships with our aggregators and whatnot, right? So partnerships not in terms of, the fun stuff, like our partnerships with Storm and Hurricanes, that I get to go both hands. It's our partnerships in terms of our aggregators, our growth there. But obviously focused on that sales side, right? So my background, as you alluded to, is as a broker. So as a broker for many, many years. Like you said, you might be there. Actually, grew up around finance, as you know, because you also know my man from those days.
I am old.
Exactly. And so taking sort of that approach, let's start looking for a bit of a change around RedZed. We're looking to really step back into a really exciting time in the market, looking for a leader to do that. And I'm really excited to go to take on that role. So, really happy to do that.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Like that. So I've got a few questions here. If you have to select it, so please bear with the audience here. So what attracted you to the role in the first place? Just how it comes.
Yeah, so I mean, as you know, from my past as a broker and then working at a digital brokerage as well, and seeing that landscape, I really see this part of the industry, that is in terms of sort of providing solutions for your clients, as the heart of what made broking what it is now, the industry, right? Back when I did it, brokers were writing loans from around 30% odd market share for broker, right? So you as a broker were winning clients from banks and finding that solution for them. More and more over the years, there's been a lot of ways to do that. In fact, the broker market share has gone through the roof, just as it should have, right? You and I both really believe on that. I've done a lot in the broker side, but I sort of thought, how can I take that experience and that sort of want to lead teams, be part of that strategy, be part of growth, be part of a brand that I really believe in, and still remain firmly involved in a segment that really gave me my life, right? Growing up around finance, really believe in this space. How can I then go and do that in this role?
A choice, really. You grew up.
Yeah, I literally grew up around this stuff, so that makes me choice, you're right. But to take this angle, right, so it's a really exciting time for what's ahead. We look at, market conditions, we look at, whether it be serviceability tightening up, a lot of the needs and the niches that we provide at RedZed, and the opportunities to go, okay, I can lead this team and really help us get to that forefront of where I believe RedZed should be, having been a RedZed broker and RedZed client partner.
Yes.
It's really exciting.
There you go. So you were a client.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm sure a lot of the brokers here are self-employed, so they would also have to find solutions for themselves, and RedZed offers that. In fact, that was one of the first changes I made when I came in, was brokers being able to write their own loans themselves at RedZed to provide a solution for them. We understand them while we not want to back them as well.
Okay, well, that's one thing you need to update on the group. So just for the chat, that question comes up once a month. Which lender allowed you to write your own loan? So jump in there.
I should be more active on this, sorry, mate.
That's okay. It's actually pinned to the top. It's not pinned. It's actually the file section. So if you go to the file section and search for that post, you won't see it. Okay. Right. So next question for you. This is a tough one, right? What should people expect to see you do differently?
Probably a few things. Firstly, just really being out there and present. I mean, I think our social team have already really started to push the fact that we are really open for business. RedZed right now, the whole Trinity, we're good, we're fast and we're cheap. And so to be able to deliver on that, we need to make sure everyone knows that. So myself being really out and about, I was at 4 PD days in 3 or 4 different states last week. After this, I went to Adelaide and Perth to really support that. So being out there and really making sure people understand us, who we are and what we offer. The sales team themselves, I'm huge on communication, so making sure that they're clear on sort of what we're trying to do and being able to deliver on that. And then it's the taking feedback and then acting fast. So like I mentioned to you, we made the change for the brokers video on their loans. Recently, we've just made the living expense verification easier. We've increased the LVRs, all those niches around our ATO debt, cash out, constantly trying to improve to again make sure that they're on that top of the yeah.
So, what just to try wait.
So
I had to ask this question.
I know you had to ask that. Thank you for not writing that down though and preparing. So I've been enrolled 4 and a bit months now. And the first day I walked in, everyone said, "Are you going to do construction? You're going to do construction." So I take the stance of, if we're going to do construction, we're going to RedZed it, right? So we're going to do it really well. It's going to be reliable. It's going to be a great, smooth process. You're going to enjoy doing it. Because I do find that those who do construction in our space typically just happen to do it, and good on them. So is it on the cards? Yes. How quickly? That depends on how quickly we are comfortable that we'll be able to do it and do it properly. Yeah. So it's not a no. It's not a right now.
That's fine, because it's one of those ones where it does ask. It also do ask about it.
And I get it.
Yeah. Okay. Patchy. All right. Next one. So, could I ask what role do you see with regards to the brokers are in terms of your third party?
Crucial. It's like RedZed would not be where it is without brokers, right? 95% of apps, but basically 95% of settlements, and their promoter score to brokers through the roof. I do have a small direct channel that also report into me, because of course if someone sees us on the front of Storm or the Hurricanes or in billboards or on socials, yet we do want to be able to cater that person. They call up and say, "No, I don't have a broker and I want to do a direct." Fine. But that is such a small percentage. Broker is crucial. And the fact that broker is crucial is, again, what drew me to this. We value the broker. People want choice. I was a broker, right? So I can speak to what the broker is going through the conversation they're having. Brokers themselves are also self-employed, so they're sick with that. There is no RedZed without broker.
Yeah. Okay. So one of the things which is coming up a lot recently, especially in the last 6 months, right, is regards to KI chat and what's well, but all that stuff. So tech.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So are you guys bringing something else out similar?
Yeah, so most of our changes now have been focused more on improving product, and they will always be, right? As I mentioned before, LVR, making it easier for living expenses, trying to retain our turnarounds at times, way treating ATO, all those sorts of things. So that's all been really crucial. And then it's about, okay, what else can we do to make things easier? In this space, we do find a lot of people do still want to do things quite manually because they're trying to explain the solution. So it doesn't necessarily fit a Title 1, which we now model, Loan Act, which we've been on for a while. So we've had to retain paper. So we have to respect that is how a lot of brokers who interact with us want to continue doing business, and we'll absorb that and get it in for on our end. On the flip side of that, you also want to make things easier. So one of the great things about RedZed is that we've got that really high quality of the broker portal that makes it feel just like you've got a loan with a lender you would otherwise expect if you didn't have to go down this path. So how do we keep doubling down on that? Well, next week we've got a Voice of Client session here in Melbourne, and we'll keep making more of those to hear what brokers actually want and show them some improvements we've made. Now, when the client logs on, show them who their broker is to, again, pass them back to their. What else do we do next? Do we want an app for that? I don't know. People are kind of over that, so let's go and ask them. And then there's all the things you would expect around, okay, like AI. So do we start making policy easier to search or interact with? We're already really interacting with the Quickies of the world and make sure that's easier and how calculated to reflect that even better. So that's a project that's on at the moment. And then for what's next, it's going to be trying to make that job easier, not trying to replace. And I think that's very much, again, goes to our commitment to broker. but also speaks to, again, this space, which is, hey, if you just said when you go score, you let a credit score. If you just went down, hey, it has to fit a machine has to say yes, then that what it is that kind of goes against what we're trying to do. So we will use it in parts and in your policy tools and whatnot, and keep looking into those areas, but also speak to the customer, the broker and the client. What would you actually want to receive from us for us to then go and prioritize what's next?
Yeah, it's a good one, because it's kind of like, yeah, these bots, they're going to be very clear, blah, 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 and but then the broker will be out of deal. That's the way I see it.
Maybe. I don't think there's only that, but I think the other thing is, like, I look at where it came from the past. If the data, once it's entered, it's there, right? But so here, how clean was it? We just go right down to a type that you can change how someone's credit check even goes. So you just got to be careful in that. Yeah.
All right. So I know we're pushed for time because I need you to get to that point. I can't afford the business class 6. Come on. I go on a flight called Jetstar. Always the Vietnamese, we've got to call it Jet Arm. Okay. So what would you consider a RedZed customer for brokers to picture that?
I do that. So for me, any client, especially if it's self-employed, so we do other things. Your SMSF is a big one now as well. Commercial, whether it's not necessarily, but a self-employed client, for me, you would start with someone like us. And if you happen to end up at a sort of the first tier, then good on you. The amount of niches that are there, the speed that's there, the flexibility that's there in product, the ongoing service. Old doc is not a dirty word, right? I mean, you and I have seen this over the years. There are people that
Used to sell.
all right, but we've also seen some brokers go, oh, but that's just dodgy. Well, it's not, because counter-tech isn't the only way we look at income. There is BAS, and the last 2 BAS might be the way, but the last 3 BAS might tell the truest story. The last 4 BAS might happen to tell the truest story. There might be something about that person that is seen poorly by other lenders. It might be a credit thing, it might be a repayment thing. We will have a conversation because we understand. So for me, you would start there, because we will price them for the risk of everything else. And then if you end up somewhere else, fine. And if it doesn't fit for us, you're going to have a pretty hard time for it to not. It must be something either about that security or really about that client that was just not on for us to not find that solution. Good answer?
It's a great answer.
Thanks.
So, because like I said, I've used it myself. Self-employed,
Good.
and you go buy a house. Your financial not ready, or or like look at a word. The whole point is you're appointing an account manager so that you can minimise the tax, right? So
Potentially, but a lot of it would be tax minimisation then, right? So I'll give you an example. Late last year, they matched me our old doc and our full doc because they're very clean. But our old doc rate was actually lower than our full doc because you're halfway through the next financial year, and some lenders will only look at the last 2 or the last financial year. But by this time, you've got 6 months past that show the business is actually on a much better trajectory. You can look back and actually annualise that to a figure that gets that client would actually be. And then they can get that cash out. We price for security, right? So, they can take the house to 80%, get that extra bit of cash to invest back in the business at a great rate, and based on true reflection of what they actually be earning in a calendar year, not just that last financial year. How would you turn it out like that? How is that not a better outcome for the client? How do you not act in their best interest at that point?
absolutely cool.
Yeah, I think so.
So we did publish for you guys online that that you guys are also looking at like the commercials.
Yeah.
Right. So you did touch on it before. Your segment was not that big, but you are. Is that a big push for it?
Absolutely. So we've played in commercial. Funny enough, I had a meeting one day ago recently. They're like, "Oh, how long have you been doing commercial for?" I'm like, "Oh, just about a decade." So we haven't been upfront about that enough. So yes, so Craig Stewart's our head of national commercial. He's hiring a couple of people into the alignment to also assist in that.
Okay.
Our commercial product is what I would call the single commercial, so your warehouses and whatnot. But again, providing a solution. But also in the SMSF space, we've got commercial. On top of that, as also look after, we call our solutions product, so a private style, but I wouldn't call it a private brand because it's not better private brand. It's for a brand that's trusted. It's for the warehouse, the weak control, so to go to the investors, the speeds there, the turnarounds there. It's, yes, it's short term like a private, so 6 to 24 months, but it's also got, whether you're land banking, whether it's residual stock, all those sorts of things, has that solution. And then what the exit strategy might be, well, maybe refinance it back into us after one of those done.
Yeah.
So that kind of, again, furthering the product suite to meet that self-employed person's needs is what we've gone after. So commercial is a huge part of that.
Yeah. I think that's the important thing too, especially new brokers come onto the market, right? Finding that private or semi-private land is hard because you don't know whether that particular index has money go.
Totally.
And your customers are paying in front at the end, which is a big
Which is very different as well than us, absolutely. Yeah. So there's all those things. It's why you go, why would I come to you rather than there might be someone that may say they're slightly cheaper or they say they take off market and go do that. But this isn't to food for others, it's just to really talk about what we've got. And again, that got a solution up. And also to your point, right? So whether it be newer brokers, whether it be people just changing, I mean, there are brokers that I wouldn't call necessarily new, but have never seen rates go down, they've never seen them go up. So there's so many opportunities that have come across people's desks. Where do you start? So we also introduced last year the Broker Academy, right? So if you get 5 FBWA points, doing your SMSF workshop on there, your self-employed workshop on there, that's to give back to the brokers and educate them because they are obviously hearing from aggregators, from their peers, hey, you need to find other ways rather than just getting someone a cheap home loan with one of the banks that can basically do it digitally. What else are you looking out for? Well, there's opportunity around how to be supporting them do that. Yeah. That was just while I'm on it, that resource is a really cool one. So it's got marketing from brokers who occur to it, us up to a certain amount, we foot the bill. There is we'll do their bills.
So you got the cover. So a broker can do marketing, and you guys will pay.
Yeah, so $200 I'm not going to pay you. I'm not going to pay your marketing on last Tuesday, please. So brokers who are accredited with RedZed through their portal online can go through the Broker Academy and all the extra bits we provide. And the big three are, some marketing, so to help them get their brand out there and go through that. There is also their wills. So again, if you're self-employed, you should definitely look into that, right? You've got to protect what happens if you're not around or something happens to you. And that third piece is we partner with a company for the counselling services, and it's entirely confidential. I think it's 6 sessions that we partner with, and we don't see any of it. We just see the people, a person has used it, and that's it.
Yep.
So again, give back because it's bloody lonely out there, as I'm sure we got thousands of people who are watching this. Who we're of.
That's a great one because the counselling service as well. A lot of people don't know where to go.
No.
Yeah. So.
And even when you say that, like I'm sure, I guarantee you, someone's watched that guy. No, I reckon they get the data. Believe me, they want to know the data.
Yeah.
We just want to provide that and give back to their brokers.
That's cool. So I'll get the link off you and I'll drop it into the video. It's not great. But yeah, mate. I think that's about all I don't know what else I could ask you apart from I guess any free tickets.
maybe your season's about to start. Yeah. But yeah, thank you, man. It is a big change, right? But yeah, it's really happy to be here.
I'm just in awe because we were having chicken down the stairs a couple of years ago, but now you're up here. So
thank you, sir.
Yeah. And the view's great too. So if this camera can swing. Yeah, I don't have this view at home. So.
No, you can come with me.
I don't know if you want me to work from here because I'll be playing Apex Legends and it's shouting.
Yeah, hopefully the quality is there. Thank you, man.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Great Apex guys.
Hey.